Greetings everyone, my name is Rahul Mishra and today I will be talking about one of the most challenging type of digital forensics, and it is called mobile forensics. Mobile phones have become an integral part of our lives. Today, almost every individual ranging from kids to teenagers to adults and even to old people have mobile phones. It has come a long way from being only a communication device to being equipped with numerous features such as high resolution cameras, 4G technology, MP3 players, gaming console and much more. They hold a wide array of information on the user and the user activities, and it is no longer uncommon to encounter a mobile device during any investigation. So, the term mobile forensics is related to mobile devices only. Mobile forensics is a branch of digital forensics, and it is about the acquisition and the analysis of mobile devices to recover digital evidences of investigative interest. It deals with recovering and analyzing digital evidence from mobile phone such as call logs, text messages, multimedia messages, browsing history and so on under forensically sound conditions. Now, when we talk about mobile forensics, we use the term forensics, which is used to define the application of methods and techniques which respect the international guidelines for acquisition and examination of mobile devices. All the phases from the acquisition to forensics analysis of the mobile device have to be totally avoid non-alteration of the examined device. This process is not easy at all, particularly in mobile devices. The continuous evolution of mobile devices technology allows the commercialization of the new mobile phones, which creates new digital investigative problems. And this is where comes the need of mobile forensics. The majority of population is not aware of the potential of smartphones, iPods, Blackberries, PDA devices, also known as personal digital assistant, and risk related to their destructive use. The fact that modern mobile phones or PDA devices today have performance of a computer desktop 5 years ago significantly indicates their power. It is difficult to precisely define mobile devices, considering that many devices such as video cameras become increasingly smaller. Forensic of mobile devices is primarily performed on mobile phones and PDA devices, although it is posited that it also involves forensics on mobile video cameras. Technological development of mobile communication is pretty fast, resulting in a constant battle between individuals and forensics investigators and organized group who wish to conceal development and utilization of data that have been illegally used. Forensics investigator of mobile devices must consider 4 facts that discriminate it from computer forensics investigation. First, great changeability of operating systems, standards of production of the devices, technology of data storage, procedures of data protection and interface devices. The diversity of platforms of mobile devices in contrast to standardization in the computer world. Utilization of wireless technology for communication, for example, infrared communication with a few meters range, Bluetooth communication with 20 meters of range, or wireless communication by standard 802.11 range until 100 meters. Mobile devices are right in the middle of 3 booming technological trends: Internet of Things, cloud computing and big data. Nowadays, these small handheld devices consist a huge amount of relevant data. Thus, this field of forensics is becoming more important. Since new updates in the hardware and OS related to mobile devices is quite frequent, it is more difficult to extract evidence from these devices. The mobile forensics process aims to recover digital evidence or relevant data from a mobile device in a way that will preserve the evidence in a forensically sound condition. To achieve that, the mobile forensic process needs to set out precise rules that will seize, isolate, transport, store for analysis, and proof that digital evidence safety originated from mobile devices only. Usually, the mobile forensics process is similar to the ones in other branches of digital forensics. Nevertheless, one should know that mobile forensics process has its own particularities that need to be considered. Following correct methodology and guidelines is a vital precondition for the examination of mobile devices to yield good results. Now, what type of information are available on the mobile devices? According to the types of mobile device and services it provides to the user, several categories of evidences are distinguished in forensics of mobile devices. User ID is utilized in provider networks of mobile phones as a proof of authenticity of the users and verification of the types of services available to the users. Mobile device is identified by an international number for identification of mobile devices, also known as IMEI, which stands for International Mobile Equipment Identity. There is a SIM card inside every mobile phone. SIM stands for Subscriber Identity Modules. It contains number labeled as International Number for Identification of Users. IMSI, which stands for International Mobile Subscribers Identity, used for registering to a system. Secret code for verification and other information. IMEI and IMSI numbers are independent, which provides users mobility. SIM card can be protected from unauthorized access by personal identification number or a password. Diary of mobile devices often contains timely arranged lists of incoming, missed and replied and selected numbers as well as GPS information. Connection movements on appropriate network cells and movement of connection termination with network cells. This information can lead to a very precisely controlled location of the user in specific moment of time. Contacts within the mobile device can be considered as a list of potential witnesses, victims or accomplices, which may contain photographs, email addresses, physical addresses, alternate phone numbers and much more other useful information on individuals in contacts. Text messages contains segments of evidence and time determinants which are very valuable in investigation. Modern computer procedures allow for reconstruction and tracing of damaged or deleted messages. Calendar can indicate the suspect's movements, obligations or individuals they had contacted. Electronic mail provides information on internet communication of the suspect. Instant messages are messages exchanged in real time and may contain complete conversations and time determinants. Application documents represent documents that can be generated in some modern mobile devices in the form of calculation, presentation and other document formats. SD cards often serve for data transfer from a computer to a mobile device and vice versa, and therefore represent important evidence in investigation. Other than these, we can also get pictures, videos and audio files and sometimes voicemail messages also in internet browsing history, content, cookies, search history, analytics information, documents, spreadsheets, presentation files and other user created data. Passwords, passcodes, swipe codes, user account credentials, historical geolocation data, cell phone tower related location data, Wi-Fi connection information, data from various installed apps, system files, usage logs, error messages and deleted data from all of the above. Now, what are the steps involved in mobile forensics process? In mobile device forensics, logical forensics acquisition of data is dominant in regards to physical acquisition in practice, taking into account that mobile forensics techniques follow the same format and that forensic software uses operating systems of mobile phones to extract data. Physical acquisition is used to extract data that operating system does not see or cannot access. Mobile forensics primarily deals with acquisition of data from mobile phones and personal devices, for example, iPods. Tools for mobile forensics can be grouped in two categories: CDMA mobile phones for acquisition of mobile phone data, GSM forensics tools for acquisition of mobile phone data and SIM card data. The main devices used in digital forensics of mobile phones include Faraday bags. Faraday bags prevent any type of communication of mobile device under investigation with external mobile devices and isolate the device. Faraday bags act as large external antenna and intercept radio waves, thus redirecting radio signal from the mobile device. That is, it prevents reception or sending of data and isolates the device. In mobile forensics environment, device isolation is the first step on arrival at investigation scene. Following the seizure of mobile device, validity of data must be ensured, which is achieved by total isolation of mobile device with any type of wireless or wired communication, whether it is with any other mobile device, Wi-Fi or infrared communication with any external device. This must be achieved since it cannot be allowed to delete data or potential evidence in investigation. Furthermore, it should be considered that there are devices that can use wireless connection from a safe distance to destroy the mobile phone that is subject to investigation. The isolation process must be performed in order to present data from mobile device before court as valid and with unquestionable integrity. Isolation process of mobile device can be performed in three basic ways: isolating wireless communication by using Faraday bags or jamming devices, switching off the device, placing the device in the airspace without any wireless form of communication, even though it entails a risk of alteration of data on the mobile device. Now, following mobile device isolation, it is necessary that the battery remains charged to prevent losing data in the working memory. In the process of tracing necessary data in case of a GSM device, primarily the SIM card is cloned, image is made of the data by using card reader, taking care to prevent writing on original medium. Following data extraction for the analysis, forensics tool perform find and catch sophisticated software functions. When data is extracted from the device itself, the applied procedure do not differ from those used in SIM acquisition. The steps involved in mobile forensics can be broadly divided as identification, collection, preservation, examination, analysis and presentation. The first step is identification. As the first step of every digital investigation involving a mobile device, the forensics expert needs to identify types of mobile device, for example, GPS, smartphone, tablet, etc. The type of network, GSM, CDMA or TDMA. The carrier or the service provider, this can be done by reverse lookup. Then comes collection and preservation, which basically means to collect all the devices and pack it in such a way that it does not lose any data at the time of transport. Now, this can be achieved by network isolation, and it could be achieved either through first airplane mode plus disabling Wi-Fi and hotspots, or cloning the device SIM card. This step is followed so that the device does not come under any external network from where it can be remotely accessed. Attackers can remotely access devices to delete relevant data, thus destroying evidence. Mobile devices are often seized switched on, and since the purpose of their confiscation is to preserve evidence, the best way to transport them is to attempt to keep them turned on to avoid a shutdown, which can alter files. A Faraday bag and external power supply are common types of equipment for conducting mobile forensics. Before putting the phone in the Faraday bag, disconnect it from the network, disable all network communications, for example Wi-Fi, GPS, hotspots, and activate the flight mode to protect the integrity of the evidence. Now comes the examination and analysis. The goal of this phase is to retrieve data from the mobile device. certain tools and techniques are used to bypass the security in order to gain access to the device. Then all information is transferred to another storage device for further analysis. It is hard to be in control of data on mobile devices because the data is mobile as well. Since data is constantly being synchronized, hardware and software may be able to bridge the data gap. Consider Uber. It has both an app and a fully functional website. All the information that can be accessed through the Uber app on a phone may be pulled off from the Uber website instead, or even the Uber software program installed on a computer. Another challenge that forensics experts need to overcome is the abundant and ever-changing landscape of mobile apps. Create a full list of all installed apps. Some apps archive and backup data. The purpose of forensic software is to provide protection of the existing data on the original device, which ensures the integrity of the collected data. In case of mobile forensics, it is at times necessary to write on their memory in order to obtain certain information. This should certainly be reduced to a minimum. Basically, data is copied from the original device, but time features are altered in this case, which complicates proving that the integrity of data has not been compromised. In case investigation is performed on a new mobile device for which there are no standardized forensic tools, it is recommended to provide additional copies of the data and precise description of the employed procedures and methods. After one identifies the data sources, the next step is to collect the information properly. There are certain unique challenges concerning gathering information in the context of mobile technology. The forensic examiner should make a use of SIM card imaging, a procedure that recreates a replica image of the SIM card content. As with other replicas, the original evidence will remain intact while the replica image is being used for analysis. All image files should be hashed to ensure data remains accurate and unchanged. The examiner may need to use numerous forensic tools to acquire and analyze data residing in the machine. Due to the sheer diversity of the mobile devices, there is no single all-purpose tool available. Consequently, it is advisable to use more than one tool for examination. The examples are Access Data, Celebrite, Hancom, Sleuthkit and Encase. These are some popular forensics mobile software that have analytical capabilities. The most appropriate tool is being chosen depending on the type and model of mobile device. It is nothing but the overall documentation of each and every step of mobile forensics. This is done in such a way that it is admissible in the court. We will do a small case study here. The director who stole new product IP with iPod and iPhone. XYZ received an inquiry from a concerned head of corporate investigations whose employer had recently lost its marketing director to a direct competitor company. He suspected that the ex-director had taken intellectual property owned by the company relating to a new product which was soon to go into production. Suspicions had been raised when the routine company staff leaver process was completed and flagged some concerns. XYZ was asked to conduct imaging and analysis of ex-director's laptop, mobile phone and iPod. The initial analysis confirmed that large amounts of data had been copied from the company's network to the iPod and then onto the mobile phone, where it was then emailed to a Hotmail account. Using forensics tools, XYZ extracted the communication data from both devices and managed to discover historical communications between the ex-director and the competitor. Information taken included specifications of a new product and a customer database backup. XYZ analysts presented their findings to the client's head of legal, who invoked a legal action against the ex-director, which resulted in a successful court action against the ex-director and his new employer. Now, we will do another case study here. Executive smartphones infected with spyware. Following an overseas business trip to negotiate a major contract, 3 company executives reported abnormalities with the operations of their mobile phones. Their company IT team examined the phones but could not identify the cause of the issues, so contacted XYZ to assist. XYZ's forensics team extracted the data from the phones using our forensics tools and conducted analysis to identify data transfer activity relating to the time period concerned and changes to standard software configuration of the phones. It was discovered that malware had been introduced to the 2 iPhones and 1 Samsung Galaxy phone, which allowed monitoring of communications including email, SMS and phone calls, and the use of the phone's own microphone as an eavesdropping device. The client did not want to pursue the situation legally, but did ask XYZ to clean the phones of malware and advise on the best way for their executives to communicate securely going forward. XYZ assisted by writing a secure communication while traveling overseas policy for the client and provided ongoing advice to client staff going forward ahead of their overseas trip to ensure staff knew how to conduct their communications in a secure and legally correct way. We will do another case study here: trackers, jammers and stolen supercars. XYZ were requested by police to conduct forensics analysis on a mixed bag of unusual exhibits which other forensic service provider had been unable to assist with because they did not have the relevant equipment and expertise. The exhibits concerned included 2 GSM or GPRS trackers and 2 radio frequencies, also known as RF jammers, all seized during the police raid on a garage operated by individuals suspected of involvement in the theft and illegal export of luxury cars. The trackers and jammers were forensically examined by XYZ staff and a report and statement were produced and provided to the investigating officer. When the case came to court, XYZ's forensics examiner attended court and provided expert witness testimony which contributed to the criminal conviction of the suspects, all of whom received prison sentences. We will do another case study here about eavesdropping, bugs and drugs. XYZ were contacted by Evidential Services Department of a police service and asked to conduct forensics analysis on some exhibits which they thought were SIM card readers. The exhibits had been seized as part of raid on a major cannabis factory, and the IO, also known as investigating officer, needed a fast turnaround on the analysis and reporting of the results as the police investigation were still ongoing. XYZ forensically examined the exhibits and quickly discovered that they were not SIM card readers but were in fact GSM eavesdropping devices. XYZ conducted further analysis of the exhibits including their SIM cards and discovered that the devices had been used by cannabis growers to monitor the cannabis factory remotely to avoid being caught by the police. XYZ completed the analysis in less than 24 hours and reported back to the IO, who used the intelligence gained from XYZ to change the mode of the investigation, enabling the police to get one step ahead of the cannabis producers, which were quickly resulted in arrests and subsequent convictions for production and distribution of drugs. I will conclude this session here. Mobile forensics is a necessary field in today's society. The use of mobile devices as popular platforms for various applications can offer imperative evidence in forensics investigations. A well-trained, highly skilled digital forensics investigator plays an essential role in criminal investigation process when performing forensics analysis of mobile devices that belongs to suspects, witnesses, victims, or through the analysis of network traffic in response to computer security incidents. Although extensive forensics toolkits exist, most tools are not fully developed and provide full functionality for multiple devices. Expenses hinders law enforcement agencies to acquire the quality software and hardware necessary for performing all mobile investigations. For this reason, it is important that investigators use the appropriate toolset for that specific purpose in performing forensics analysis in an effective manner that will support the respective case.